Morena tamarikima. How are you all doing today? Today, our plan is to do a bit of a quiz. I'm also going to cover what our plans for this week is. But first, I've given you a bit of a question on here. And I wanted to see if you guys could do it. Good to see so many of you here today. That's lovely. Just before we get started, after the conclusion of the stream, I will post the slides for this, which include the answers to the quiz, on our Google Classroom page. There will also be a Google form. If you're only going to do one thing this week, could you please fill that form out? I'll post that when our stream is over. That form will let me know how things are going for you, any ways that we can improve our online learning, but also it will be helpful in checking who's actually able to access our online learning. There might be some of us who don't have access to devices, so if I see that you haven't been able to fill that out, then I'll know. But fortunately, all of you with access to be able to viewing this will hopefully be able to fill it out. Still having some issues around camera and getting stuff set up. My little computer is really struggling to use an external webcam, so I'm still using the one on my laptop, but hopefully that'll be fine. This chair is definitely comfy enough, but in an ideal world, I'd prefer to stand and wave my arms around a lot more. But we'll see what we can do. All right. Okay, here's the question. Bruce has gotten has some milk he forgot about in the back of his fridge. It's curdled and it smells pretty gross. Do you think this is an example of a physical and chemical change, a physical or chemical change? If you're watching this in retrospect or after the stream has happened, you can pause now, have a think of your answer, and then I'll tell you. If you're watching this live, you can post your answers in the chat, or if you have already, I'm going to tell you in 3, 2, 1. This is an example of a chemical change. The reason why we know that is because we can see there's a difference in smell. We can see there's a difference in the way that it looks. Remember, we talked about this in class, about the differences in signs and symbols, and how you tell the difference between a chemical and a physical change. Hopefully, that is a really good point. Another good point somebody's just raised in the chat, well done Joseph, is that you can't reverse it. You can't uncurdle milk. That tells us pretty clearly this is an example of a chemical change that's been going on there. If you're feeling in the mood for answering some more of these, you're in luck. That's what our plan is for today. We will hopefully be going through some problems and making things accessible to you guys so you're ready to sit your Material World quiz, your Material World test on Friday. So here's some details on our plan. On Monday, right now, we're streaming. After we've finished the stream, you're welcome to continue working through the content Miss Staples has set you. She set you a video on Google Classroom. You should know where that is, and you can tackle that content so that you're ready for the test this Friday. On Thursday at 11:35 during our normal class time, there is an optional Google Meet office hours. So I will be available on Google Meet to ask questions or just have a korero if you're interested in that. I'll probably only be available for the first 30 minutes of the hour. I'm not assuming that all of you will need support, but if you just want to come in and have a bit of a chat, I'll be available then. Happy to answer any questions during this as well if you want to post them in the chat. On Friday, you'll be sitting your Material World test. Miss Staples will post more details about this. If you completed the work last week and you're doing some revision this week, you should be good and ready. All right, let's move on to the quiz. So, our quiz today, who wants to be a Material World millionaire? Hopefully you guessed that from the title. If you're watching this as a replay, which you're welcome to do at any time, you're welcome to pause the video as you're going through and try and attempt these questions. Maybe write out an answer on a piece of paper and then play the video to get the answers. Those of you who are playing along live, you're welcome to type your answers in the chat. Now, this is going to be a game of honesty. I can't obviously mark all your answers through the internet in this way, so whether or not you become a millionaire is really up to your levels of honesty. Hopefully we'll all be millionaires by the end of today. So without further ado, I'll check the chat, make sure there's no issues in terms of audio or anything. Okay, it looks like we're all good to go. So let's play the game. All right, which of the following forms of H2O has the most energy given that we have the same volume of each? Is it A, ice, B, 32 degrees Celsius water, C, steam, or D, room temperature water? Post your answers in the chat now or write them down on your piece of paper, because in 5 seconds we are going to check. Okay, have you got your final answer? And the correct answer was steam. Very good to all of those of you who posted that in the chat. Very good to see. I'm glad you're understanding the crux of the game. You have just won yourselves $1,000. Awesome work. Okay, our next question is, okay, which of the following is an example of a physical change? Melting ice cream, lighting a match, roasting kumara, or cooking an egg? You have 5 seconds to answer. Okay, final answers in, please. All right, looks like most of you have gotten in your answers. I'm seeing a lot of A's. Is this the correct answer? That's absolutely right. It is melting ice cream, lighting a match, roasting kumara, cooking an egg, all examples of chemical change. Very well done. That's $2,500. Well done. All right, moving on to question 3 for $5,000. I keep wanting to say pounds, but we're going to stick with dollars for now. Not quite as much in terms of value, but that's okay. Question number 3. What will the line look like in a physical change graph if a substance is increasing in temperature as we add energy to it? Will the line be A, flat, B, angled upward, C, angled downward, or D, wibbly wobbly? Need your answers in the chat in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And my computer has just started to crash, which means that there's going to be a lot of suspense right now. This is going to be an unnecessary amount of suspense. I might have just crashed everything, which is not ideal. Adds quite a lot of suspense. Hopefully we can get things working shortly. Feel free to discuss why your answer is the correct one in the chat in the meantime. Hopefully we're not building up too much suspense. Oh my word, I've I've really done something to my computer. She's really upset. That's okay. We'll give it a minute to sort things out. Okay. If you can still hear me, take this time to process your answers, and we'll wait patiently for my computer to restart again. Sorry to build so much suspense. I'll just post on our Google Classroom, on our Google Hangouts chat, so that everyone's aware. Hello, team. Okay. Hello. Can you all hear me? Let me know if you can. Looks like the latency is quite high, but that's okay. Hey, Emily says we're back. That's good. All right. Hopefully it's not super choppy. We might just need to give it a second to settle. Boy, oh boy, my computer did not like me switching between the music and checking the chat and sitting. So sorry about that. Okay. Let me check, guys. Hopefully if we double this, we should be all good to go. Fantastic. Thank you, millionaire. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. My computer crashed completely because I was switching between playing the music, the chat, and everything else. But hopefully we can get it working again. I'm going to try playing the music because what's the fun of playing this without the music? So I'm going to go through those previous 3 questions, make sure we're all up to speed with that. Okay. Hopefully everything's working now. So for your $1,000 question, we had what was the which of the following forms of H2O contains the most energy? The correct answer for that one was steam, which you all got correctly, which is fantastic. The second question for $2,500 was which of the following is an example of a physical change? The correct answer there was melting ice cream. For question number 3, that was the question that I think I left you on, wasn't it? So if we switch the music to our dramatic final answer music, hopefully this time we won't leave you hanging. And the correct answer was angled upward. If we can imagine our phase change graph, if a substance is increasing in temperature, that means that all the energy that's going into it is used to increase the vibration of those molecules. It's not used in the transition of states. So good to see you guys mostly getting the correct answer. I'm aware that it might be a little bit choppy. Hopefully for those of you who are watching on video, it's now a bit clearer. Okay. Hopefully we can keep going. Sorry about that again, team. Okay. Let's go here. Question number 4. This question is for 10,000 real dollars. When a phase change graph is flat, the substance is A, a solid, B, warm, C, a gas, D, changing states. Now, is that your final answer? Remember, if you get this right, you get $10,000. If you get this wrong, you walk away with nothing. And the correct answer is changing states. When a phase change graph is flat, that infers that we are going through a transition of states. Think about our phase change graph coming up, getting to, say, ice, increasing in temperature. We get to 0 degrees Celsius at ambient pressure, and we have to go through a phase change to turn from solid to a liquid. And as a result, the graph is flat because we're putting energy in, but we're not seeing a change in temperature. Okay, good work. $10,000. I see most of you have gotten that, which is excellent work. Okay, next question. This question for $25,000. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash again. Here we go. Which of the following states has the most orderly particle arrangement? Hopefully you remember this from class. A solid state, B, a liquid state, C, a gaseous state, D, a happy state. Hopefully you're typing in your answers in chat now. Okay. Is that your final answer? And the correct answer was indeed a solid state. If you remember in class, we linked arms like this, shook about, but we were holding together. That's our most orderly arrangement. Awesome. You've all earned $25,000. Very well done. Okay, next question. Question 6, worth $50,000. This is where it really starts getting intense. What element has the symbol big L, lowercase I? Is it A, magnesium, B, lithium, C, oxygen, or D, lead? Need your final answers now, please. If you're watching this in the future, you can pause, have a bit of a think, have a bit of a deliberation, maybe phone a friend. Is that your final answer? For $50,000. It's a lot of money. That's right, Li, lithium. Lead would be Pb, oxygen is O, magnesium, Mg. Very well done. Now, the biggest jump so far. Question number 7, worth $100,000. Here we go. H2O is an example of A, an element, B, an atom, C, a compound, or D, an electron. Post your answers in the chat. Okay. Is that your final answer? Remember, if you get this wrong, you walk away with nothing. Actually, I can't remember the rules of this game. It could be that you walk away with $10,000 or something, when you could have walked away with $50,000. Okay, the correct answer is C, a compound. Remember, elements are examples of examples of things where you only have one atom. A good example of this would be a chunk of metal would be considered all just one element, whereas a compound contains multiple different things. H2O on its own would be a good example of a compound. Okay, we're moving on to the next question. Just going to double, triple fact check myself. Make sure I didn't just give you a big piece of misinformation there, because I'm second guessing. And it's okay for teachers to double check themselves. Okay, let's make sure I haven't given you the wrong definition. Okay, awesome. Okay. See, I was worried that I'd write these questions really late at night and then I'd second guess myself and figure out, Okay, no, good. Whew. I was worried that I'd given you completely the wrong question. That would have been really rude of me, hadn't it? Okay. I can't imagine the people who actually host Who Wants to Be a Millionaire freaking out at giving the wrong question, but you know, the production value on this show is not quite as high. Okay, let's move on. Question number 8 for $250,000. What is the electron configuration of oxygen? Remembering the element, oxygen has 8 protons, or the atom oxygen has 8 protons. Is it A, 8, 2? Is it B, 2, 8? Is it C, 2? Or D, 2, 6? If you would like to phone a friend, you're welcome to do so. You can pause, phone them, ask for their advice, confirm your answer. Remember, this is a game of trust for $1 million. Okay. Is that your final answer? This question for $250,000. It's a lot of money. And the correct answer was 2, 6. Remember, our first electron shell can only hold 2. Our second one can hold up to 8. We only have 8 electrons we need to put in our shells, assuming this oxygen is not charged. So we go 2 in the first shell and 6 in our outermost valence shell. Very well done. Now we're on to the last 2 questions, and then we'll end it for today. Okay, question number 9 for $500,000. What is the name for atoms with the same number of protons but a different number of neutrons? Is it A, isotopes? Is it B, anions? Is it C, ions? Or D, electrons? Okay, hopefully you've got your final answer. For $500,000. The correct answer was isotopes. So hopefully you guys all got that there. I saw a number of you get that correct, which is awesome. That leaves us with just one more question. This question is worth $1 million. How many neutrons does carbon-13 have? Remember, carbon-13 has an atomic mass of 13. That's why we call it carbon-13. If you need some time, you can pause the stream or pause the video. Try and figure this out. All right, for those of you watching live or those of you who've unpaused, is this your final answer? A was 13, B was 6, C was 7, and D was 12. Remember the question was how many neutrons? You're 100% sure with what you've said there? Absolutely, totally convinced? Okay. The correct answer was, building suspense, 7. Remembering, of course, that carbon-13 has 6 protons, and therefore, in order to have an atomic mass of 13, you'd need to have 7 neutrons. So, if you've gotten that all correct, that means that you have won the game. Fantastic work. So, congratulations to those of you who were able to make it to the end and win the $4 million. Thank you all very much for playing along today. I know there was a few technical hiccups in there, but thank you for trialing something a little bit different. Our plan going forward is to just finish going like this, and then, okay, so our plan moving forward is to do our revision, look at the post that Ms. Staples has made, and study hard in preparation for our test on Friday. Just a reminder, there's an optional Google Meet office hours this Thursday at 11:35. One final reminder is that you will need to fill out the post on Google Classroom. If you have any questions, you can post them in chat now and I'll take a look. To answer your question, how was my KFC, Emily? It was delicious. We made some fried chicken, we made chips, we made potatoes and gravy, all homemade. It was delicious. Fantastic. Okay. I'll give you 20 seconds to post any questions in the chat. Otherwise, you're welcome to post them in the Google Hangouts for our class. I'm happy to answer them there or on, the little spot on our Google Classroom for class questions. Hopefully, I'll go have a look at those today. All right. Thank you very much for joining today. Can't see any other major questions. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Have fun with your other classes today. And I guess I will see you later on.